Hello everyone, welcome to the course Python Programming for Beginners. Let us discuss Module 1 Introduction to Python. First of all, why should I learn Python? Python is currently the most widely used multi-purpose high-level programming language which allows programming in object-oriented and procedural paradigms. Python programs generally are smaller than other programming languages like Java. Programmers have to type relatively less, and the indentation requirement of the language makes them readable all the time. Python is widely used general purpose high level programming language, of course. It was created by Guido van Rossum in the year 1991 and further developed by Python Software Foundation. It was designed with an emphasis on code readability, and its syntax allows programmers to express their concepts in fewer lines of code. What is this code readability? The code which we write that clearly communicates its intent to the reader. Guido van Rossum is a Dutch programmer best known as the author of the Python programming language, for which he was the benevolent dictator for life until he stepped down from the position in July 2018. He remained a member of the Python Steering Council through 2019 and withdrew his nomination for the 2020 election. Python is widely used in bigger organizations because of its multiple programming paradigms. They usually involve imperative and object-oriented functional programming. It has a comprehensive and large standard library that has automatic memory management and dynamic features. It is a general purpose language, which means it can be used to build just about anything, which will be made easy with the right tools or libraries. Professionally, it is great for back-end web development, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and scientific computing. Many developers have also used this language to build productivity tools, games, and desktop apps, so there are plenty of resources to help you learn how to do those as well. Let us discuss the history of Python. Python laid its foundation in the late 1980s. Then the implementation of Python was started in the year 1989 December by Guido van Rossum. In February 1991, he published the code. In the year 1994, Python 1.0 was released with new features like lambda, map, filter, and reduce. Python 2.0 version added new features such as list comprehensions, garbage collection systems. On December 3, 2008, Python 3.0 was released. It was designed to rectify the fundamental flaws of the language. ABC programming language is said to be the predecessor of Python language, which was capable of exception handling and interfacing with the Amoeba operating system. Exception handling refers to which allows you to separate error handling code from normal code. So why companies prefer Python? The programmers of big companies use Python as it has created a mark for itself in the software development with characteristic features like interactive, interpreted, modular, dynamic, object-oriented, portable, high-level, extensible in C++ and C, easy to learn, easy to read, easy to maintain, robust, effective as a rapid prototyping tool, a memory manager, interpreted, and compiled. This is the list of the top companies, some of the top companies using Python. Nokia, NASA, Dropbox, Amazon, Instagram, Google, Reddit, Facebook, Mozilla, Yahoo Maps, Twitter, IBM, Quora, Feature Animation. Many more are using Python language. So these are the advantages of Python. First, it is simple to use and understand. It is free and open source. Productivity has increased. Interpreted language. Portability. These are the few applications of Python: visualization of data, artificial intelligence and machine learning, data analytics, desktop graphical user interface, web development, finance, audio and visual applications. So let us look into this interpreter in Python. So how the Python interpreter works? A Python interpreter is a computer program that converts each high-level program statement into machine code, right? An interpreter translates the command that you write out into code that the computer can understand. So, however, to better understand this definition, I must explain what high-level and low-level languages are. Computer programmers write in high-level programming languages. High-level programming languages are written closer to human language and allow programmers to focus on command being written. Python is the most famous example of a high-level language. However, while high-level languages are relatively easy to understand by humans, the same cannot be said for machines, right? Machines only understand machine code or machine language, a language represented by strings of bits, ones and zeros. As you can imagine, writing and reading a program as strings of ones and zeros is extremely hard for human programmers. Imagine trying to memorize instructions as ones, zeros. So how do we bridge the gap between what a human programmer writes and what the machine understands and thus executes? By using an interpreter. When using a Python interpreter, the programmer types in the command, the interpreter reads the command, evaluates it, prints the result and then goes back to read the command. So let us understand the difference between Python interpreter and a compiler. Computer programs are generally written in a high language, also called source code. Since machines don't understand this type of language, the language needs to be transformed into binary or machine code, which machines understand, right? Compilers and interpreters makes this transformation possible. However, while they both have primary function of changing source code into machine code, there are differences between them. Okay, so these two methods of translating code present unique opportunities and challenges. So interpreters translate programs one statement at a time, unlike compilers that do batch translation. Secondly, because interpreters don't generate any object code, they are more memory efficient than compilers. Working in Python. Python is free, open source software that works on Linux, Mac, Windows, and various other platforms. It comes pre-installed on Mac and most distribution of Linux. There are multiple Python distributions. What is Python distribution? A Python distribution is a software bundle which contains a Python interpreter and the Python standard library. These are some of the Python distributions: Anaconda, Canopy. There are many. What is Python IDE? The term IDE refers for Integrated Development Environment, which is a coding tool that aids in automating the editing, compiling, testing, and other steps of SDLC while making it simple for developers to execute, write, and debug code. It is specifically made for software development and includes a number of tools that are used in the creation and testing of the software. These are few popular Python IDEs: Atom, PyDev, PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter Notebook, Rodeo, Thorny, Microsoft Visual Studio, Eric, Wing. There are many more. These are Python editors: Komodo, Notepad++, gedit. What is Python shell? Python interpreter can be used from an interactive shell. The interactive shell is also interactive in the way that it stands between the commands or actions and their execution. Python offers a comfortable command line interface with the Python shell, which is also known as the Python interactive shell. This is how the Python shell IDE looks like. So there are two types of basic modes of Python. One is script mode, other one is interactive mode. Script mode, the normal mode, is the mode where the scripted and finished .py files are run in the Python interpreter. In interactive mode, it is a command line shell which gives immediate feedback for each statement while running previously fed statements in active memory. With this, we conclude the module 1. Thank you so much.